Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast, the football podcast and pro wrestling podcast we bring you each and every week. It is Wednesday, it's midweek, it's Pro Wrestling Weekly. The panel are assembled. We might be waiting on a few Avengers to pop up. Maybe if they do, we'll bring them in. Sean might be joining us a little bit later, and Emma's coming in probably from parts unknown, but we'll catch up with her if she doesn't make it. But we've got a great show tonight, I have to say, and we're going to have a bit of fun and have a nice little lineup for next week's show as well. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We're not going to be overly focused all the time just on wrestling. We're going to be doing a little bit of other stuff as well. Big shout out as well to all the lads. The shows that are going out are absolutely phenomenal. Fair play to everyone putting in that shift. Great stuff going out there at the moment. Check out Keith's one went up this week again as well. I'm sure Dave's is on the way. Plenty to say after we get through tonight. Sean did two today. He did an NXT and a preview for Deadline. Make sure you check that out as well. I've just been hustling in terms of content this week as much as I can. Everything is going up there quick for it as much as I can. No doubt Bren will be back with a SmackDown show as well. And we've got plenty of other stuff to talk about. We're going to be talking about the mystery man in the black hoodie and all that kind of stuff. And we got a little dynamic on this tonight. Who do we think it is? And who would you like it to be? If you could pick who the mystery man is. There you go. So a little challenge for you. We're going to be talking about Booker T. Dave has a lot to talk about Booker T. He's not happy with Booker T at all. Keith wants us to have a chat about belts, the design of belts, the current ones to the old ones and what they mean. What else have we got in here for you? Obviously, we got Raw, and we're going to be talking War Games as well. We're going to be talking John Cena as well, and we're going to be talking potentially Hall of Fame. We are going to be talking about that last time tournament. As we said, Mystery Man, rounded out with a few new items that have come in to stock, probably the last delivery, if not the second last delivery for Christmas. And we got a bit of history to go through as well. So plenty to go through there. Right. Where do we begin? Survivor Series War Games, San Diego. Bren, kick us off.
I will, Niall. I will. We did the watch along, obviously, which look, the watch along made it for me. The event, however, like I put it on the TikTok machine, it was mostly filler, some hits. I thought the whole thing, the whole celebration with Jey Uso in the middle, where he gets up and starts riding the cage, basically, and then Lesnar's music hit. Lesnar comes down and knocks the bollocks out of everybody. Mental, bad stuff. I thought the women smashed it at the start. The John Cena Liv Morgan thing. Look, I'm okay, and I know I'm hop, skip, and jump. I'm okay with John Cena losing and the belt going back to Dom. But considering what happened on Raw, I think it's a lazy and poor writing to bring Liv back in that manner. And it's like there should be tension there. Like if they're gonna bring Liv back, she not been watching the show? Does she not watch wrestling? Where's the logic? The logic is out the bloody window. And look, this Survivor Series to me, it was lazy. It was poor. That masked man at the end, people have their theories. I guess we'll touch on that. I'll wait till we touch on it in a few minutes. But I have to be honest with you, I'm pissed off with Survivor Series. Pissed off. I thought it was piss poor, and they should have been a lot better. And Triple H, look, I know he's a promoter, but he needs to stop talking about things being epic or game changing, and then basically, do you know what, Niall? I could have fell down the stairs and halfway down wrote a better Survivor Series. Ridiculous.
Did you see the SmackDown post today? Building on yesterday or the day before his epic Raw. Apparently, this SmackDown this week is going to be, what did he describe it as? Era changing? Or something like that?
He needs to stop because I think like there's a correlation with every time he says something's going to be how you, Sean. Good to see you on, my friend. Every time for now, my friend. Anyway, we'll see by the end of the show. But every time he says the likes of game changing, it's piss poor. It's awful. Look, I'm starting on a negative. I leave it up to the rest of you lads to maybe bring it up a little bit. But I just thought it was the drizzlings, as Bruce Pritchard would call it.
I like the way you said the highlight for you was the watch along, because it's nice when you have a therapy session when we can all share the pain of the hope that kills us. Because I think we all went into this War Games thinking This was going to be the absolute amazing. This was going to be D1. We predicted it could go down as the best one ever. And then, of course, we don't get the Shark Tanks. We hear that Lesnar was just bitching out backstage again and there was politicking. We find out that the highlight of the whole show was the Liv Morgan swerve. And, like, we had 2 War Games matches. And, like, Cena loses the belt. And then it gets compounded on Raw because we get LA Knight versus Gunther, which wasn't a surprise, but certainly is going to be very, very disappointing. And yet another therapy session, and another watch-along we have coming up next week as well to share the pain. And then you got a kind of a clunky match with Stephanie Facour and Nikki Bella. Kind of Stephanie Facour is an unbelievable wrestler and an unbelievable athlete, and she's just, unfortunately, you've got Nikki Bella still wrestling like it was kind of back in the Divas kind of days, and you have Stephanie Facour who could hold her own probably with a lot of the male roster in the ring as well. And it's just a little bit frustrating in the way it goes down. And yeah, and then you get the Raw. This Raw is going to be epic, and it's just crap. And then you get SmackDown's going to be the beginning of a new era or something like that, he said. And I was just thinking, you're just working us now, you know what I mean? And then I was kind of thinking, maybe all the stuff I've been pulling Brett up on, maybe I shouldn't be pulling them up on it. Maybe Brett's right in some of this stuff, you know what I mean? And that's what was really scary for me as well. But I just thought, this fell flat in its face, and I'm getting to the stage now where I think maybe we should take War Games off the menu. It doesn't have a roof. It didn't have the Shark Tanks. It didn't have all the stuff. It came out of it, and I thought, I was looking, it didn't really lay down anything. It didn't set the pathway to WrestleMania. And then they tried to recover it on Raw. And then it was kind of like, okay, we're looking at Cody and Roman again. We know how that's going to go. We're looking at probably Punk and Braun Breaker, and then what's the purpose of the Mystery Man? And then we're getting Braun Breaker and Punk on the January 5th episode of Raw, which is the 1-year anniversary of Netflix, which is probably something we should do a watch along for if we could. And I was kind of thinking, well, Punk's hardly going to drop the belt, is he? 2 or 3 months before WrestleMania? Is he? Of course he'll want his WrestleMania moment, won't he? And I just don't know. And then I kind of felt bad as well, because I was thinking back to the watch along, and Punk came out, of course, with the Larry jacket. And I had mentioned that I've never seen a more uglier dog, and then I find out he fucking passed away. And like I felt really bad, because I mean, you know how much I love dogs. I'm surrounded by them even here now. I love dogs, probably more so than I love humans. And I just it was just, I felt really bad about it. So I did a short saying I'm very sorry and condolences and all that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
I genuinely felt really, really bad about it, So
one of the things we missed at the end, well, I think you touched on it there, was when he went down on his knee, and you can see him grabbing the Larry Dad part. Now, this was pointed out to me by a fan.
No, I seen it on Twitter today. A guy broke it down,
which indicated that he clearly knew what was going to happen, which makes that match, Jesus Christ.
Which Brett makes me feel even worse now.
I'm sorry.
Because I didn't pick up on it all. And I was going to say as well, who the fuck's going to buy Larry's dad's jacket? And I was just there. I just felt awful about it. I can't drop a link to it today, Ian, because I'm maxed out on my internet here at the moment. I'm looking at it here at the moment, and it's maxed out. So if you come on, it'll just tear the stream down. Acers. War Games match needs to be on an NXT main roster. Should be Classic 5-on-5. Yeah, they really, really should. And they have the tag teams to do it. But I just think this whole War Games, and it's so disappointing as well, because these were like 4 amazing teams, which makes it even worse. You know what I mean? And it was just so frustrating. So frustrating. But yeah, Keith, thoughts?
Well, look, my highlight of the whole thing is Stephanie winning, and that's all I care about, to be honest. No, look,
that's okay. If you leave it at that, you're leaving on a high. It's all good.
No, look, at the end, I agree with you, Niall. I think, to be quite honest with you, I'm kind of old school in that way. I would prefer the 5-on-5 elimination matches. They mean a lot more than this War Games. Now, not to say, like, the women's War Games was decent. I just thought the men's was so badly booked. At the ending of it was just horrific. And like, we're still yet to know who this mystery guy is. I thought they should have done it on the actual day itself. And I'm just sorry, but for God's sake, would you stop with the Jey Uso halfway yeeting thing, because it's getting really, really annoying.
Can I just say as well, Keith? So Anto, I know you're on, Anto. I did actually forward Keith that message. Anto sent me a message to forward on to Keith, and I did it real quick during work, and it was basically just Jey gyrating the cage.
I know. Like,
Listen,
come on,
at the
lads.
end of the day, if it sells 5,000 sets of sunglasses and a load of t-shirts, you
Look,
gotta do what you
I
gotta
said
do.
this. I said this to Keith when I started watching Raw today. They put the Yee in the signature when it comes up together. If you look below it, all the crowd is doing the Yee. They put it in the signature of the show. It's going nowhere.
Yeah, but Dave, not through a mid-match. Like, come on.
When you say it's going, Dave, you say it's going nowhere, but there were signs that it might be going out of here on Raw. Maybe not, because Jey is
Do
looking.
you know there's been
frustrated.
backlash over that, Bren? That he's doing the Yee thing.
There is. Okay, so there's an overwhelmingly negative YouTube reaction. Let's see what they do. Let's see what they do.
There's no backlash from his royalty check every month, I can guarantee you. Keith, we've had millions of absolutely stupid gimmicks down through the years that
100%.
make wedge and they don't go missing. They're not going to tap out on that. They're not going to tap out on that.
Look, to be honest with you, the Liv Morgan thing, I don't think did anything.
Wow.
Keith, roll it back. Tell him you roll it back, Keith. Tell him you love him.
Roll it back.
Tell him you love him.
Roll it back again.
Hang on.
Your credit.
Roll it back. Roll it back again. Yeah, I don't know.
No, look, for me, Survivor Series was an absolute joke. I mean, I for one, am not a fan of match-themed pay-per-views anyway. I used to hate when you get Extreme Rules and only one match on the card was a hardcore match, which made no sense at all. I don't like it. I am agreeing with all of you. Survivor Series traditional matches need to come back. 5v5 in the ring. Even if there's something like, oh, now it's a no disqualification or whatever, it doesn't matter. Bring back 5v5 elimination. That would be class. Or tornado, yeah. But make it elimination. Make it original. The way it used to be. But this was a shambolic pay-per-view. And like the whole Liv Morgan thing, I understood why they done it, right? But like you said, Bren, has she not been watching Raw? Has she not seen who's replaced her? And then on Raw, the fact that we're looking at the exact same thing a year ago. Liv as champion, the other two as tag champions, and the rest of the Judgment Day will probably take the titles off AJ and Dragon Lee, and we're back to where we were a year ago in the exact same bloody situation. That is what really annoys me. I won't talk too much about Raw because we still got onto that, but Survivor Series was a nightmare. Again, like Brent, the watch along, having you lads on here was the highlight. But it just didn't make any sense to me at all. And look, I'm not going to hate on Nikki Bella this week. She's gotten enough of it in the media in the last 24 hours. But Stephanie Vaquer winning, absolute right decision. Because where they're going with that and the next opponent, I can understand where they're leaning into. But like you said, Niall, I agree with you. When I was watching that match, Stephanie and Nikki, there was shades of the old Divas era style wrestling, which I wasn't a fan of.
It was like two different eras nearly, wasn't it? Kind of colliding, and it just didn't mix. The recipe just didn't suit, and it's
holding there to whole match, like
but do you know what the thing is as well? And we've seen it a little bit before. I can't remember now. We've seen it in another women's match. Might have been one of the Trish matches where we've seen it where the business doesn't stand still. The business moves forward, develops, evolves, all that kind of stuff. And maybe injecting these people in there to put a bit of lineage on the legacy, on the career. Maybe at times it just doesn't work, and that's a real problem. And it just, for one reason or another, it's really trying to mesh. Where you're trying to mesh like that British style with the American style and the Japanese style. And sometimes it works because you have good dynamic in there with super athletes. And sometimes it just looks real clunky. I thought there was one. Remember the one when Naomi came back? Remember the one where Naomi came back and she was wrestling? Was it an Elimination Chamber? And the timing just seemed way off and all that kind of stuff. And it was like she just hadn't been wrestling in WWE for that length of time. And it was just,
Jade Cargill came back or something when she.
No, because they nailed her. They nailed her before that. It was another match I think where they locked. It might have been a cage match or something like that, or a helmet. I'm not too sure, but I know even the way they locked up just seemed weird, just seemed strange and stuff. I can't remember which one it is now. And I was just thinking, you could see there Naomi's been out of a WWE ring and she's been in TNA or whatever it is for a long time, or doing the indies, and it's just a different style, you know. And I just thought with this as well, it's not any disrespect to Nikki Bella, it's just she's wrestling in a different kind of way from a different kind of time period, you know. And I'd imagine you might get a little bit that if you brought Layla back or Michelle McCool, or you know, maybe the only one you might get it off is Beth Phoenix because she's such an athlete and stuff. You know?
Apologies for jumping off, lads. I've just literally looked at my phone. I got my first offer to do an audiobook ever. So
nice one. Congratulations.
It's going up on Audible as well, which is pretty class.
Just give them my email, being your new agent now.
See, the thing about it is, Nikki Bella is from a time where the wrestlers didn't really wrestle, like the Divas itself didn't wrestle.
I don't think that's a fair comment. I think they did wrestle. I just think they wrestled a different style with a different kind of storyline and a different kind of build-up. It's unfair to say that they didn't wrestle. They did wrestle. They just didn't wrestle in that kind of way and that kind of vigor like what you get kind of from the men and stuff like that. So slightly different. But they definitely wrestled. There's no better thing.
I think probably what you're aiming at, Keith, is Nikki Bella was never really a good wrestler. I don't recall a good Nikki Bella match.
No, she was never a good one.
Whereas there were good wrestlers in her era. And look, I don't think like at this stage, Nikki Bella can't contribute to a wrestling match positively. She has to be carried each time. It's not fair on the likes of Stephanie. It's not fair on the other wrestlers. So she needs to go back, do another Hallmark film and piss off for a while. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean.
And look,
Sean watched it the other day.
So we've just proved, folks, Bren is ageist. Very good. I like this one.
Yeah, it is. It's actually. It looks more, Ian. It looks more like the old TV title that Tully Blanchard and Arnott used to have. That's what.
There's a great clip, Niall. I must send it to you. Triple H is doing they go into the WWE offices and they look at all the old belts.
Oh, I saw that.
I'll send it to you later. It's absolutely.
Is this the one where he does the inside the headquarters?
Yeah, the $4 million belts or something, like $4 million collection or something like that. Yeah.
That new headquarters is insane. Unbelievable. Just hang on there 1 second, lads. I just have to let the dog out.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Right, so whilst Niall is gone, I was thinking maybe we should kick Niall off and make it our own podcast. No, I'm only messing, of course I am.
So I'm not the only one who thought it.
We're going to call it
John,
the middle
whilst
tier.
Niall is gone, whilst Niall is gone, tell us what you thought of did you watch the Hallmark movie that Nikki Bella was in? All seriousness.
No, it's not out yet.
Okay.
It's only the trailer. I did watch the trailer though, and Nikki Bella aside, my love for Nikki Bella aside, it does actually look very good. Like Hallmark Christmas movies do hit different. And even though this is a Google movie, it still actually looks quite good. It's very Hallmark-esque, and I'm actually looking forward to it. So,
all right.
That's a nice lead in actually, Bren, because I did mention earlier we were going to be doing some different stuff. So next week, the challenge for the panel is to tell me what their 5 go-to movies is at Christmas. Now, not Christmas movies. It can be a Christmas movie if you want. But your 5 go-to movies that you always make time to watch during the Christmas period or the Christmas holidays.
With wrestlers in it?
No, it doesn't have wrestlers. It doesn't have to be wrestlers. Doesn't have to be anything. Doesn't have to be anything. It can be anything you want. But there you go. So your movies, because there's always those kind of, you know, when you were growing up and all, there was always Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Superman.
50 Shades of Pink.
What? No. What household are you living in? 50 Shades of Pink.
Is Cavan even real?
I was going to say grey, and then I thought we'd get cancelled for that.
So you say kink instead of grey? Grey is a colour. Kink is a sexual act.
I didn't say kink. You said kink.
Yeah.
I don't. The beauty of this is we have video evidence that you literally said kink 3 minutes
I did not. I said
no. He said 50 Shades of Pink. The colour.
Oh, well then I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Where's Nave? Where's Nave on me later? Acers, you're always jumping the gun, aren't you, Acers? This is for next week's show. We don't need it this week. Hold your horses.
Right,
Save it. It's not a bad shout now. It's not a bad shout, but for next week. Have we rounded out then Survivor Series, and kind of moved on from the toxicity of it and everything else, Right, let's talk about Raw. So Raw was kind of constructed in a way that it was to fix up all the shit that they didn't get across was at War Games, I thought. Kind of laying down the storylines of where we're going to go and all that kind of stuff. For me, obviously, the most disappointing was, obviously, I'm a big LA Knight fan. I'm a big fan of all 4 guys that were in the semi-final. The issue I have at the moment is I still believe none of them should be anywhere near John Cena's last match. And I'm praying that someone still comes across, backs up the van and kidnaps him to WrestleMania. So we're going with that. So. But yeah, there you go. Leeds are 1-0 up against Chelsea, by the way, as well, according to Acers. And Home Alone, of course, you mentioned as well. I think Home Alone will be on most people's lists. Who wants to take Raw? Keith, take Raw. Kick us off on Raw.
I thought the opener was okay, to be honest with you. It was interesting to see what they're going to do with that. And it leads into the main event itself, which was an interesting ending to it, but also it pissed me off at the end as well. It was I thought Raw was a bit of a mixed bag this week. I didn't like the LA Knight and Jey Uso match. I thought it was shit, to be quite honest with you. It was all over the place. It was too clunky, and there's a shit ending to it. I'm really, really intrigued with the Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquero now. That's going to be really good, I think. But my also fear is that they're going to take that belt off her and give it to Liv Morgan. I don't want Liv Morgan to have the belt just yet. I'd rather Stephanie Vaquero had a little more time with it, even if it's up to WrestleMania or something like that. Now, for me, the highlight was Braun. Braun Breaker's promo was just sensational. Absolutely brilliant. I watched it a good few times afterwards. Just thought it was his best performance yet. Gunther and Solo's match was actually pretty good. I actually quite enjoyed that.
What's this? Are you positive about Solo Sikoa?
No, but I like Gunther. So I actually thought the two of them gelled very well together. The tag team match as well, that was pretty decent, even though I'm not a fan of the New Day, but they still did pretty well together. They had a real solid match.
The greatest styles clash of all time across any promotion.
Yes.
Was decent.
Nothing touch. You thought that was decent? That was phenomenal.
Decent.
The drop kick into the styles clash off the ropes was just, as Sean would say, chef's kiss.
It was one of the best. And I thought about this today across all promotions. There's never been a better styles clash than that, and it will never get any better. He should retire now. It was that good. Anyway, sorry, Keith. Go on.
It's a push. Sharon here with the Usos having 3 matches in 1 week. Yeah, it's a bit of a push, especially when Jay's gas tank is in question at the moment. Giving 3 matches in 1 week, it's a bit of a push. All right, go ahead, Keith. Sorry.
The ending of the Raw, the main event. Look, it was a good tag match, but the problem is I was interested to see what was going on because everybody came into it, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. But when I saw Judgment Day coming in, I was like, oh, here. And it's like, I know what's going to end here. They're going to be ended up on top, which they did. And it's like, no, enough is enough. I want Judgment Day to be gone. I'm sick of them at this point.
But they're not going anywhere, Keith. The whole band's getting back together, for God's sake. They're only short of bringing Rhea and Damian Priest back if they get back together.
Like, I'm just tired of it. They need to go. Like, they've
go One Direction style.
There's two heel stables on one show. And
speak of rolling back the Judgment Day. Rolling back right back. Keith will be going crazy.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see them holding titles. You know, like at this point, I keep it to Kabuki Warriors, for God's sake. That's how much I don't want to see.
Keith, you just want to show where Stephanie Vaquero has 5 matches in the one night. That's all you want.
That was the thing.
I'd be happy with that, yeah.
You've got YouTube for that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Highlights and stuff and all.
No, but look,
it's got 2 kids.
I thought it was a bit of a mixed bag. I didn't really think it was a great Raw, but it wasn't a terrible Raw. It was kind of just in the middle.
How would you feel, Keith, if all the women tag teams are leading to one big ladder match?
Like a TLC or just the ladder?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Do you not think that would be a cool idea or a good direction?
Yeah, as long as Judgment Day don't win it, fine.
They're not allowed to win anything.
No.
Only Kabuki Warriors.
No, they're not allowed either.
No.
You know, Keith, there's a large part of Judgment Day are Irish. I'm just putting it out there, like.
I know, but at this point, Niall, they've had their time together. Just separate them already. Like, I'm tired of them. Just saying.
Yeah, but we all know once they separate, nothing is going to be done with JD McDonough. We all know that. As sad as it is,
I don't think you're right. I don't think you're right there. I don't think you're right there. I think there will be.
We spoke about him being potentially one of the breakout guys for 2026, but again, you see, it's just you never know when they start sailing that ship on their own. You know, look at how long it took Solo to kind of settle after he popped out of the bloodline, and he still had people around him. You know, so I don't know. It'll be interesting though, but I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. I think, you know something, they're probably keeping these together because they know that it's driving people in the fan base and the universe mad. So they're nearly working the crowd, really, aren't they, at this stage?
Yeah.
Well, they're working the crowd on everything.
Yeah.
Out of interest, Keith, how long do you think a faction should last in wrestling? Based on your Judgment Day annoyance and the fact that you want them to, you know, get shot over rocket into the moon, how long should they last? What is the length of time for a faction in your eyes?
Depending on the faction, but it could be between 2 to 3 years.
No.
Depending on which faction it is. Well, like, Evolution lasted, 2 years, wasn't it?
If even.
Well, we know the Bloodline and the Judgment Day went on way longer than they should have.
Well, how long is Judgment Day going now? How long is Judgment Day going now?
More than 2 years, isn't it?
Well, Edge was still in WWE when it started. Remember that there's been 2 or 3 different variations of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How many times can you do it until it's complete? Like it's a bottle of Kiora at the moment.
Here's a hot take for you at the moment, lads. I would have took another year of the bloodline if I had known what I was getting off Cody Rhodes.
Are you winding me up?
No, I'm not winding you up. If I had known what I was getting from Cody Rhodes over that year as champion, please continue the bloodline, as insufferable as it was at times. It wasn't that insufferable.
So but we now know.
What shall we talk about?
But at this stage, it's not just Cody Rhodes. It's the whole freaking show that needs to change. It's not just Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, but he's the guy. He's the guy. In 2008 to 2012, when wrestling was shit, Cena was the guy, carried the company. So it's not an excuse. He's the champ. He's the guy. It's not good enough.
But it's not good enough from the company. You're dead right. Cena carried it, and Cody's trying to do the same as well. But unfortunately, at the moment, I mean, if you look at like you alluded to what Bret Hart said earlier on, and I think I know what you're talking about. There was a clip of Cody and somebody else punching on top of the War Games cage, and it looked phony as hell. But I think that's across the board.
All these lads are supposed to be feuding, and they're all fist pumping each other. What's that about?
yeah, but I don't think it's down to Cody. Anyway,
I'm not saying it's down to Cody, but he's the champion, so he's the guy. He's the guy that's supposed to carry the company. He's the champion.
Niall,
if you can't do it, then get off.
He's not carrying the pen. He's not carrying the pen at the end of the day.
Stop it. That's just an easy get out. Yeah. It's been horrific. Let's be honest. It's been horrific. It's only been second to that absolute debacle of a farewell tour and that last man now tournament, whatever the fuck it's called at this stage. I don't know how to call it.
But Niall, I've alluded to this before. I had these conversations when Cena was. I've had these conversations many times when Cena was head of the company when he was champion, and I'm saying I find that I'm putting the same arguments forward back then that I am putting now, but now Cena's God because he's leaving. You know what I mean? You can't have it both ways.
What do you mean you can't have both ways? You can just kidnap him and he doesn't go and just end this halfway around.
Of course
you can have it both ways. Jeez. And as for Sharon there, don't you start Cody. Sharon, I've been on this podcast and I've had people crying on this podcast about R-Truth, about carrying Cross, about Scarlett, about the Dudleys, about the Wyatts, about all this. And it all eventually comes full circle. And when it changes, it all makes sense. When that belt comes off Cody Rhodes, WWE will be back on the upswing again. The tribal chief will be getting acknowledged again, and the world will be all good again.
Yes,
and we won't have to listen. And we won't have to listen to the story. We won't have to listen. Like this guy walks out to the ring and he doesn't even know what to talk about. He has to ask the crowd. Like it's insane. What do we talk about? What do you mean? What do we talk about? You're the champ. You tell us. It's insane.
That's like saying The Rock shouldn't come down and announce finally The Rock has come back to Chicago because it's obvious you're in Chicago. Like it's his catchphrase. So what do you want to talk about? It's pretty cool.
Let me talk to you.
The only story that fella's telling is a bedtime story.
It doesn't hit. I never wanted Roman Reigns to land a loaf on that lad getting out of the ring the other night at Survivor Series. It's unbelievable. It's so boring. And he's coming down with his little fake damage from getting battered in the RV and all this kind of thing. It's shambolic. It's shambolic at this stage.
Just very quickly, just on a side note, there was a moment between where Roman Reigns was about to pick. That's a bit too far. Where Reigns was about to pick. He picked CM Punk up, and CM Punk for a minute. And if you catch the camera, he says "Zebros."
Yeah.
Now, if you haven't seen the film, it's very good. I've seen the film, the Zootopia one, but they played the Zebros in it. And it's just a nice little Easter egg.
And you know what the problem is? I mentioned about not having the Shark Tanks. And if we had had the Shark Tanks, they could have been laying down this narrative with each other and with the other guys in the Shark Tank, building towards going into the War Games ring. And because we didn't have that, it was just a load of entrances and people were popping in the stadium like they were surprises when they knew who was in the teams. It was shocking. Absolutely shocking. What's happened to wrestling fans? It's disaster.
Division promo as a whole, and the preemptive promo backstage with Adam Pearce again, fantastic with Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman. But what I love is Braun Breaker doesn't even have to say anything anymore. Do you know what I mean? Just his demeanor standing next to Heyman, was just great to see. And then when he gets in the ring, I agree with Keith. Phenomenal promo. And you can tell he's worked hard on it, because I've said it to Keith many times before I came on this podcast. He needs to work on his mic skills. He needs to get better at his promos. And he's just knocked it out of the park. Absolutely. I can't wait to see that guy in a proper feud on his own.
Anytime I hear him, I think of his uncle.
There's talk about Braun winning the title on the 5th, Punk winning the Chamber in Chicago, and having Braun versus Punk at Mania on night
then
one.
What do you do then?
You have Cody and Roman part 3.
Yeah.
No thanks.
You have Roman.
Part 33.
Yeah, you have Roman take the belt back. You have Braun Breaker defend and beat Punk at WrestleMania, elevating him even further. And that's good for business, but that's just me. Maybe it'll be another epic era defining, global, record setting, whatever it's called, whatever he calls them now.
Yeah.
PLEs.
Well, they make history every week.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I hear like the Pope is coming on this one year anniversary for Raw. Brent.
I don't know. I seen the Pope a couple of weeks
ago. They broke that
yeah.
many records. There's not a piece of vinyl left in the US at this time. You know what I mean? It's insane. Like, you know what I mean? Sharon, I'll tell you what I don't want. I don't want the last match. I want the match before it, maybe when he was sitting in the ring crying. And Roman's up on the ramp like that, giving it socks. I'll take that one all day. Good
you loved when Cody beat him. You loved it. You loved the whole thing. You loved every minute.
My judgment was clouded. My judgment was clouded. I thought the whole story and the Dusty Rhodes and the whole thing was going to mean so much to me, and now it's just like, honestly.
Are we ever going to find out what the Rock wrote on that little note?
Fuck Cody.
Don't know. Maybe an Unreal Volume 2 or something like that. I don't know. Who knows?
Have we ruled out The Rock for Saturday Night Main Event? Not to be hopped. Actually, do you know what? No, we'll get to it. Sorry. We're talking about Raw.
Overall, Raw was a 7 out of 10. In my eyes, there was a lot wrong with it. I touched on it when we spoke about Survivor Series. The Judgment Day attacking the superstars, them holding the tag belts up. Liv's now feuding with Stephanie, and I have a feeling we're going to have the exact same thing we had a year ago with the Judgment Day, which I don't want because it's not new. We've had it. We've seen it.
Dave.
But that's WWE's problem lately. They're just rerunning everything back because that's all they can do.
That whole last thing is now a tournament. We said it. It was just lazy creative booking.
Yeah.
But most of it is. I will say this though. A highlight of Raw for me was Natty and Maxine Dupree.
No. Yes.
There you go.
I'm telling you now.
I love that video package.
You know what?
Spot on, Ted. Spot on. You did tell me. You told me this would be bad for business. And at the time I didn't believe you because I was just lashing shirts out the bar for Cody. So, but now I know. Now I know. Keep your dog the whole lot. I don't care. Now I know. Right. Let's move on. Let's talk about Dave. This is your section coming up. Booker T has upset Dave big time. He messaged me the other day on WhatsApp and he was steaming down the WhatsApp.
Absolutely. I could have cut a half an hour promo on it now.
Should have.
No, I put this up because it was an instant debate, or it was an interesting debate to have, which is why I messaged you about it. Because me and Keith went back and forth about it, and I was like, he agreed with Booker, and if it was 3 or 4 years ago, I would have said, yeah, do you know what? He's right. It is looking like a WWE retirement home. Now, I think he's absolutely wrong, because if you look at Full Gear, right, and you look at the main event guys up on the pay-per-view who are top of the card, they're not old, they're not broken. I mean, Joe's 46, but so is LA Knight, so are the rest of us. Punk is older.
I have to interject here. When Dave messaged me on WhatsApp the other day, he gave me a breakdown of the average ages and everything and all. He must have spent hours investigating this. It was insane. Right. Okay. He was putting in numbers. The average age is 43.5 years and all this. So he was obviously on Excel and everything and all, getting all the ages of all the top superstars and averaging.
I will admit, I deep dove into this because if I had been proven wrong, I would have said, you know what, I'll hold my hand up and say Booker's right. 4 years ago, I would have said Booker's right. But the average age in AEW is 35. The average age in WWE is 41. Who's the old folks home? I mean, all of the top stars, and Keith, we spoke about this, that you touched on the fact that WWE has a problem with the average age of its top stars. And it does, and I agree with you. But how can you say that AEW is a retirement spot when the majority of the top stars in WWE are ready for retirement almost? And the top stars who are champions and in the top feuds are only 36, 35, 36. Not even
is the argument to it, Dave, that you're going for more money and less schedule? So it feels like being semi-retired. Does that argument hold water? And is maybe he was coming from that point of view as well?
I don't know, was he?
I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. Just
I suppose, I'm not Ricochet's biggest fan, right? And I understand why he went, because he was just getting frustrated. And people do get frustrated when they can't climb the card. And he was never going to get to the top of the card in WWE anyway. That was a given. He's in the mid card in AEW, and he's pissing the crowd off, and he's giving it socks, and he knows he's getting under everyone's skin, and that works for him. And he's having a great time there now.
He's the worst example, Dave. Because he was having a great time anyway. He's married to a lovely girl as well, who we all love as a ring announcer as well and stuff like that. But in fairness, he's obviously not doing that good if they have to invent a belt for him.
He's not doing that good. Dave, Ricochet should work for Cirque du Soleil, right? He shouldn't be anywhere near a wrestling ring. Ricochet should work for Cirque du Soleil. I think I got that.
Fine. Right. If he wants to go to Cirque du Soleil,
can I just say on that as well, Dave? I don't like that. That's a stupid thing for Booker T to say. I totally agree with you, but he's a brutal commentator anyway. His opinion doesn't hold water. All he's commentating is, "Oh man, oh yeah."
Catchphrase again for that.
Shucky ducky duck duck or whatever.
Ducky ducky quack quack. Yeah, shucky ducky duck duck
quack.
He talks a lot of balls, but there's two things I want to say. And first of all, your Dynamite reviews are deadly, and I love watching them. It helps me keep up with AEW. In saying that, watching AEW is like sometimes watching. It's like it's comparable to Ring of Honor in 2006, which isn't a bad spot. They're just never going to be there. They're just never going to be up there.
There's more wrestling, whereas WWE gets me into the entertainment side.
It goes WWE, TNA, AEW, and that's the future.
100%.
Look at this Jericho fan. Look at this Jericho fan. Jericho hit you up and tell you to say that, yeah? Come on, give on.
No, I don't think TNA are there yet, but this new deal that they got is definitely going to push the.
Awesome,
it's gonna make AEW take note.
Yeah, I got the email yesterday on it. It was fantastic news and fairness. AMC's big deal,
and we'll certainly be doing a TNA show. We certainly will be, 100%.
But the bottom line is, I wanted all your opinions on whether you think AEW is a retirement spot for wrestlers. Like, going there means you're at the end of your you're at your Impact stage when it was Blue and Hogan and Sting were there. I just want your opinions of what your take is on it, because obviously, Niall, I've given you my take. We've had a great debate with it, during the week.
The last thing I'll say, Dave, is that it doesn't do any WWE guys any favors, because when they come back, they seem to have lost their edge.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. So I've said enough on it, and we'll talk about it another time. I'm talking too much. So, Sean, what do you think?
Before you get into it, the one thing I would say is I don't think we're going to be properly able to judge it until we see the Jericho farewell tour and the Edge farewell tour.
I agree with that.
To see what's happening. Because obviously they're incoming as well, So I don't know. For me, look, it's very hard when you're coming to that stage in your career and you don't want to sit backstage and catering in WWE, and you don't want to, if you feel you still have something to offer, you don't want to be sitting around stinking out the place like those old timers going, remember back in 76 and all this, and they're chewing tobacco in the corner and eating catering on their Legends deal. If you still feel you have something to offer, then you probably want to go and you want to wrestle. The other lad is offering truckloads of cash. He's offering creative freedom, whether you like it or you don't like it, or you agree or you disagree with it. But if a place comes along and offers you that type of money and that type of gravy train, you can bump up your pension. You're doing a bit of wrestling. You have a little bit of say in what you're doing, whether it's right or wrong, or whether the inmate should run the asylum. Who knows? Who's going to refuse it? You're not going to refuse it. And eventually, WWE is going to come knocking down here, buddy. We need another farewell tour here. Cena's gone. AJ Styles is gone. Any chance you want to come back? You've made your NFL money over here. Let's come back here. You'll make good wage.
We'll got give Chris Jericho, Edge, Christian.
Yeah, we've got the makings of a real good hillbilly band at this stage now. You know what I mean? So let's get it in there. Let's get it going. You know what I mean? So who's gonna refuse that? No one's gonna refuse that. Hogan didn't even refuse that. Hogan did it. You know what I mean? So why wouldn't you do it? You know what I mean? It's like it's very difficult not to jump at that when it's there and it's on offer. And if the money is to be believed, apparently it's insane. And these boys are working. The schedule is just pony. You know what I mean? It's insane. Like compared to WWE, these lads must think they're on holidays. You know what I mean? So it's a win-win for some of these guys. Now, where it falls down is you get creative freedom and you start jumping off the top of buildings and cages and all, and breaking legs and ankles and all that kind of stupid shit that you shouldn't be doing at nearly 50 years of age when your bones are brittle enough and probably wrecked from 30 years on the road. That's a different argument. You know what I mean? And that's a conversation that needs to be had. But yeah, go ahead, Sean. Jump in there.
Do you know, it's kind of a tough one, because either way you look at it, it proves in a sense that grass isn't greener on either side. It's just a matter of perspective. Like you look at Chris Jericho in WWE, absolute legend, brilliant run, gets to AEW, has a great run, and then all of a sudden is going around the retirement home like that lad with dementia screaming, "Hi guys, I'm the learning tree," So it kind of goes both ways. I feel like WWE and AEW are the same in the way that depends on the situation. They can be childish or they can be grown up, and it's the same in AEW. You have a child running the show, but can sometimes make good decisions, As I said, it just kind of comes to a matter of perspective. I don't really agree with what Booker T said, but in a sense I can see why he said it,
Okay. That's a good point.
It felt to me when he said it as well, it didn't feel to me like it was it felt like with him always it's like trying to throw shade, but it didn't feel like if AEW contact Booker T today and say, listen, we're going to give you X amount of millions, come on over here, you know what I mean, bit of shucky ducky quack quack and all the rest of it, and all, it's all good. If you want to get back in the ring and do a few spin-a-roonies and all that kind of stuff, it's all good. It's all down to you from a creative point of view. We'll be backing 500 grand into your wages every month or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Do you think Booker T is going to be sitting where he's sitting? No, he's not. He's going to say, see you later, guys. You know what I mean? So they're all hanging around now because they know the Saudi Mania is coming. Aces is right. You know what I mean? We're going to get a WrestleMania in 2 years' time in Saudi, like we're back watching WrestleMania 10. Watch. It's going to be insane. How do you feel about Daniel's comment here, lads? AEW has had some of the best matches of the year, and we have got our awards show coming up in a few weeks, so we're going to be discussing it.
It's going to be tough. Like I think they have had some absolutely amazing matches. throughout the year, and it's going to be tough to kind of break down which ones are the best ones. But I think some of them would go up against some of WWE's top matches of the year as well, because it'd be interesting to look at it. If you look at these matches that we get from WWE, which I'm gonna do, I'll probably watch the WWE and AEW top matches and kind of look at them and compare the two of them. But I think we're gonna be spoiled with the matches that we have for the end of the year. It's gonna be a tough decision to say which ones are the best of the year.
We might even have to break it in a way where we have to do like an AEW one and a WWE award maybe, because
and TNA.
I don't know. Yeah, and TNA as well. And like, when you talk about how strong the women's division has been and stuff like that in WWE and all, but we can't discard or eliminate the fact that Toni Storm has had a stellar year as well.
Yeah, unbelievable.
You know what I mean? So like, there's a lot to digest in that, and we need to work on it over the next 2 weeks because the show's going to come up thick and fast. And
Mercedes
there's a lot to go in there, you know.
Shut your mouth down.
Also, Keith,
here we go.
Keith, you're up, man. Yeah.
Right,
so Anto, have a safe trip back, Anto. Have a safe trip back.
I was looking at this, and I was looking at old pay-per-views back in the day as well. The likes of the old tag team titles that I like, that the Road Warriors and all used to have, that I find nowadays, the titles nowadays I feel are very lazy, and they're not putting a lot of effort into making them a real standout title. Like for me, I don't really like the way that they have the women's and men's title kind of the same, the top ones. Like it's very just lazy design, where it should be just a unique title for each person, for each man and each woman. Like, where they used to have it years ago for the women's title back in the early 2000s. I love that title. I thought it was a great title, because it was just a standout title. I just feel like nowadays, if you look at it, the US title and the women's title, they're all the same. Nothing's really, it doesn't really stand out to you. I just feel like everything nowadays is just like blah. It's just not put in a lot of effort where they did years ago, where you have your favorite title from years ago. If it's the Eagle belt, or if it's the Attitude belt, Undisputed belt, even the Spinner belt, whoever it may be. But like, I just feel nowadays WWE is not really putting in the effort anymore.
Do you think they're looking at it from an equality point of view, Keith? Do you think the women's title should reflect the men's because they feel it's on the same level and because it should mean the same amount? Maybe they haven't gone about it the right way, but you're not thinking they're looking at it like, well, the men's and the women's looks the exact same. It means the same.
Yeah, they could be. I don't know. I just feel like it should be their own unique title. Like, that they should be looking at. Like, I just feel it's just lazy design nowadays, and it's especially with the title CM Punk has. I'm not a fan of that either. I just don't think it's all that great looking, to be quite honest with you. And like, I love the SmackDown title because it just represents to me the old tag team titles from the 80s and the 90s. When I look at it, it's a really lovely design.
The biggest problem you have, Keith, is that the fact that WWF and /E from early 90s to mid 2000s or thereabouts, they had one guy designing all the belts. They had one designer who was specifically there to design these belts and to make them special.
Yeah.
They don't have that anymore. I think they're all just a design team where they have all these people looking to modernize and consolidate and make it look as not generic, but there's not as much heart and soul going into it because that one guy who made all those belts not there anymore. So you don't have that originality anymore. You just have this team of people throwing a belt together.
Tell us this: are we clouded by it a little bit? I mean, obviously they use these things as marketing tools as well, and a lot of the belts that you see there are also hangovers from the old WWE Network and stuff like that as well. But are we clouded in a little bit where we think about, what design of belt was associated with our favorite match ever? What design of belt was associated with our favorite period in wrestling? And what we do is we associate the design of the belt with how good the wrestling was then. Like, you think of Awesome with the Attitude belt and the Smoking Skull belt. You think of that time with Eddie Guerrero and Lesnar and all, with the Undisputed title and John Cena and, all that kind of stuff. And then you look at the belts now. For me, I don't kind of look at the belts as much anymore in terms of, I'm more concerned about what they signify and do they look like a trophy or something that you would want to wear to signify yourself as a champion. And I think Dave has a good point there. Maybe where they're trying to bring things on a par with the women's and the men's, and as we know, the women generally outshine the men in this situation, and have been for a while now, you know. I like to comment on the belts, on the tag belts. I'm not disappointed in the tag belt on Raw either. I think it's a kind of a cool throwback design as well with the circular disc. It's pretty cool as well. But I do like, I mean, for me, the belt for me will always be the Winged Eagle or the Big Gold. There we go. Yeah. And obviously those silver tag belts that the Hart Foundation and the Bulldogs and all had. But that's just because I think back, I mean, one of my favorite belts actually is the belt that AEW just did. That TV title from NWA meant so much to me with Aaron Anderson, Tully Blanchard and all that time, and Magnum TA and all these guys and all, you know. So it's hard Magnum to judge TA, the belts, you know. Yeah, but it's hard to... Yeah, what if? Absolutely. But it's hard to judge the belts, and it's hard to know, you know. I don't know. I mean, Sean obviously collects belts. I've only got a couple of belts, but I've mainly got big golds and stuff like that and all, you know. Do you know what I think has actually ruined the belts? Now that they're doing these wrestler-specific belts, I think it's kind of taking a little bit away from it. You know what I mean? I mean, some of them look really, really good, but they're kind of like hanging wall trophy.
John Cena's got a new one for every bloody city.
And there's another one coming now, his final match one.
And that's going to be a beast.
You know? People are collecting these 7 or 8 Cena belts on their own.
Yeah. I don't mind collecting belts if like you know, when Ed turned 40, his wife Sarah, or his girlfriend Sarah, his fiance, she ordered the oval IC off me with the scratch logo that he wanted. The reason he wanted it was it threw him back to a time when Test and Umaga were around, and that was part of the time when he really, really liked a lot of wrestling, and that's why he got it. So sometimes a belt means more to us nearly than it does to the person who's wearing it or the person who did wear it, because for us, it provided so much joy and entertainment and good times, and, you know, reflects back to your childhood and maybe all that kind of stuff. Like for me, when Hogan was at WrestleMania 3 with the belt, and when he won the belt off Sheik, and even that other belt that he won, the one with all the gold on it with the plates and all it, not the 87 belt with the flags,
the green strap.
Yeah. Like that belt is insane. And then you look at those but you look at those IWGP belts as well that are absolutely phenomenal as well. They actually feel like something you would want to win. You know what I mean? Like when you look at what those old IWGP belts, you think, Jesus, if I was the champion there and I held one of those, even that IC belt is beautiful that IWGP had at one stage, and just phenomenal. The original Ring of Honor belts as well, I thought were really, really cool.
The Ring of Honor Pure Championship.
And what I would say as well, that a belt doesn't always have to be gold. There's something nice about a belt being silver as well. You know what I mean? And it's, I don't know. It's just.
You said something there, Noel, that makes a lot of sense. The belt behind me is the Winged Eagle belt. And that belt means the absolute world to me, because it represents a time that's no longer there. It represents a childhood and being brought. It's when my belief was completely suspended. And I believed, like I was hook, line, and sinker. And I looked at wrestling very differently. But when I look at that belt, like our friend, this was given to me as a gift from my parents. They mounted it. Sadly for you, there's a picture of me and Cody holding that Intercontinental belt, by the way, from the Japan one. Sorry, Sean. But I think for me, it's the link to the childhood. It's who held it as well, the legacy. Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart, Randy Savage, Andre the Giant, albeit ever so brief. Steve Austin, even when he originally won it, and so on. So yeah, for me, it's the attachment to that and that era. I think you've hit the nail on the head for me. That's what it means to me anyway.
Do you know what it is as well? I often find when someone becomes a champion, even nowadays, like when they become, like say Punk winning the World Heavyweight belt, and he gets that belt, the onus, I think, is also on the wrestler to sell the title to us and its significance. I think that's a big part of it as well. And I think for a lot of the times, a lot of the belts in there, they don't, because there's a lot, sometimes there's chop and change. Like you think about when that Intercontinental belt happened and Gunther had that run for X amount of days and broke the record and all, that Intercontinental title and that Intercontinental run meant so much to us because we were so invested in Gunther's IC run. Probably the best work he's ever done, let's be honest here. And we were invested in the IC belt again. Look what's happened since. You know what I mean? And this is the problem. You really need someone to carry that belt. And remember, we were following him week in, week out. Don't lose the belt, break the record, don't lose the belt. And listen, I'm a honky-tonk guy. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong here. You know what I mean? I'm a honky-tonk guy. I was a warrior guy. I was all those guys. You know what I mean? But it felt like him breaking that record and that run with that Intercontinental belt felt at the time the most significant thing going on in wrestling. And that was because of him. And I know we're talking about him in terms of seeing his last match. That's a different narrative. It's a different set of limits. It's a different directive and stuff like that. But the onus is also on the person to carry it. When you think about when Eddie had the undisputed belt, when you think about Jericho winning the 2 belts, you know, when you think about the significance of those moments that we look back on, you know, Hogan beating Andre at 3, Savage getting the belt, you know, DiBiase trying to buy it off Andre, you know, like all those things. We pinpoint those moments, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, sometimes when we look at it as well and we talk about how Rick Rude never did it and Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, never did it, and they should have done it. But the reason we think they should have done it is, I think it's the wrestler that makes the belt. And the design for me is irrelevant, because I'm telling you now, if Kurt Hennig in his peak is walking out with that World Heavyweight belt on him, you can be guaranteed there's not a single person on the planet is complaining about the design of that belt. They're just not. They're just not, because the guy is carrying the belt. I didn't hear anyone bitch or moan about the IC belt during Gunther's run. No. Who mentioned it? Who mentioned the title? I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like the other. You know what I mean? And I really think it's the wrestler that makes the title.
Do you think
really
Dom's
when
done
it falls into it.
Do you think Dom's done a good job?
I think Dom has done a good job, but in a different kind of way, because we're really at a stage now where we're really seeing the reincarnation. If you believe in reincarnation, we are actually seeing the reincarnation of Eddie Guerrero. There's no doubt about it before our eyes.
Because his title run, the IC title, was again legendary.
Absolutely. And you see, that's where I'm coming from. And that's why I'm saying, when Eddie Guerrero held the belt, when all these guys held belts, when Edge held the belt, we didn't really look at the belt and go, that's an awful belt. We didn't. When Punk wore the spinner belt, who complained about the spinner belt as much as they did when Cena had a spinner belt? And it suited Cena way more than CM Punk. But no one complained about it. The guy has to sell you the title, or the girl. And that's it. Who's complaining about the women's title at the moment that Stephanie Fakura is carrying at the moment?
Keith, thoughts?
Oh, no, I'm delighted she has it.
No, but
now think about it this way. If Nikki Bella had won at the weekend and took the women's title off her, first of all, we complain about it was a terrible decision. We'd be complaining that Stephanie had the belt took off her, and then we'd be saying, that's an awful looking belt.
It doesn't.
And listen, I think about it, and when the belts were unique, what did we say when we had the Butterfly Davis belt? Good Lord. Good Lord. You know what I mean? So there's kind of an argument back and forward about whether the belt should be unique, or whether they should all have a kind of a corporate look, or how do they mesh to the characters that tend to wear them. And that's why we've had such a painful year in terms of booking and creative, because at times it's been insane. Like you look at Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio doesn't need any belt. Doesn't need any belt. What they're doing is, as we're talking about rolling back with Jey Uso, they're rolling back history, they're repeating history, and we are absolutely seeing the reincarnation of some of that stuff in previous times. There's no doubt about it.
But here's a question for you. Would you rather see for WrestleMania come up, would you rather see Braun Breaker winning the title against Cody or against CM Punk?
I don't think it matters to me. I don't think it matters. You know? So
because I think you look a lot nicer with the SmackDown title. Braun Breaker for me, like.
But I think Niall's point is, it's not about the aesthetics.
The issue won't be about the look of the title belt. The issue will be, what does Braun Breaker do with it? Does Braun Breaker take it to the next level? Or does Braun Breaker fall on the sword and crap the bed and get the rabbit in the headlights like what happened to Jey Uso?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? This is what happened to Jey Uso. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think he will, personally, because he has Paul Heyman there to guide him.
But you might find once he reaches that title thing, then the boys will go, there you go, on your own now. You've made it. You're done and dusted. You have your promo, off you go.
He has to break away.
And then he's going to have to stand on his own. He'll have to break away from that, because the likelihood is, if he gets the title and they're all still in the division, what are you going to get? you're eventually going to get the Triple H with the thumbs down on someone's shoulders, and they'll all knock the shite out of him to take the title off him. Yeah. That's what's going to happen. Because let's be honest, Braun Breaker's promo on Monday night was phenomenal, but you've got 3 or 4 other guys standing there going, am I just a cog in this wheel here, or what's the story here? You know what I mean? So, and think about the breakdown. If you think about the breakdown, originally Logan Paul was the one who was giving it to CM Punk in relation to the title. Braun Breaker got injected into that, and now Logan Paul is having a pop off Rey Mysterio. So,
and storyline wise, that's what happened to Seth.
Yeah.
He was cutting the promos, and the boys were behind him. The hyenas were ready.
Yeah. Like when we talk about getting the second coming and stuff, the vision is probably going to end up being pure Evolution rollback. That's how I see it probably going. Eventually, they'll turn whoever has the title. They'll turn on Braun, and then they'll make Braun a mega babyface.
He's nearly there, Niall.
He's nearly there.
But they'll need that turn.
Yeah,
because that turn will solidify it. Absolutely.
You think that will happen next year?
I'm not too sure. They'll have to let it. If they're clever about it, they'll let it. They'll let it ferment. They'll let it marinate. They won't do it too quick. And what they'll do is they'll slide it in there eventually, and then hit us with it when we're not expecting it. And every one of us will be on WhatsApp going, "Holy fuck!" Now we know what the plan was. That's what I think. Anyway, that's my 2 points worth on belts. Big up, Juggalo. Hope you're good. Whoop whoop. Yeah. Anyone else want to add to the belt debate and stuff like that? And
I think you've hit the nail on the head, Niall. For me personally.
Yeah, I really do. I really think it's down that the person has to, because we often talk about, the history and the lineage and the legacy of belts and all that kind of stuff. And you look at that World Heavyweight belt. That World Heavyweight belt, that big gold one, that was going through. And even back in the day, the other one, the Harley and all, held back in the day with Ric Flair and all. You had to go before the NWA Council to get approval to become champion. That's why the Von Erichs got so frustrated in Texas and ended up breaking away on their own and giving the 2 fingers to the NWA Council and creating their own world champion, because they got so frustrated trying to put the belt on David and trying to put the belt on Kerry. And that's what happened. That's the history of it. So, they really need to think about these steps at times, about where they go, where that belt is going to go after Stephanie Vacour, and how does it level up again and again and again to become really, really credible as a title. You know what I mean? You can't just suddenly drop it to the next LFG squeeze or whatever it is, or you know what I mean? And same with the men's titles. That's why they're building Braun so strong. Because Braun, when he eventually takes this title off Punk, it's going to be really meaningful and he will level up. Or he will fall like Jey Uso. But we hope with everything that we know and the Steiner DNA and everything else, he will level up. He's ready for it. You can see that promo the other night just cemented everything we said about Braun Breaker on the show 2 weeks ago, that he is going to be the guy. So that's
the next Roman.
Yeah.
The only person I think that needs to put him over that's left, if Lesnar puts him over, that'll next level him up again.
But does he need that?
No, but it's a good stepping stone. Because
I think as Dave's right. I think those moves are very important. I often talk about when you're building up your CV. We've seen it with Tiffany Stratton and stuff like that. It's really important while some of these names are around, because the one thing we spoke about on the John Cena Farewell Tour is that a lot of the guys you would like to see him face in the last year have either retired or they don't wrestle anymore or whatever it is. So we weren't able to get the Kurt Angle. We weren't able to get the Undertaker. We weren't able to get the Triple H. We weren't able to get the Shawn Michaels. We hadn't been able to get Jericho. We didn't have Edge. There's 6 people straight away that should have all had 6 matches with John Cena on this farewell tour, and we couldn't get any of them. So I think it's really, really important while these guys are around, because let's be honest, Lesnar's not going to be around forever. Roman's not going to be around forever. Punk's not going to be around forever. You know what I mean? So while they're in there, it's really important that you build up these other guys that we believe are going to carry the company
like
for
Randy.
At least the next decade. Yeah, but even Randy, absolutely. Randy should be pivotal in that whole situation. And that's how you build a CV. And then once you've arrived at that point, that you're in that kind of zone, that you're that guy, that you walk out, that you're that aura, that you're the company guy, that you're the champion, you're the top of the mountain, then you can walk out there. Then you start having your matches with those other guys on the card. The problem for guys like LA Knight and stuff like that is the clock is ticking. So the problem is he ain't got that time to build that. So they either fast track him and see how it goes. But this is kind of what they did a little bit with Jey Uso in terms of being a singles competitor. And that's kind of where it kind of fell apart. They went to put the company behind him and they realized that the truck that was pulling the container at the back wasn't capable of pulling the container at the back. But he will come back and he will eventually be able to do it. There's no doubt about it. Right, let's move on from belts. But yeah, great. Listen, lads, these are great topics you sent me as well. I love that. Keep on doing these things, you know. We had Bleacher Report ranks John Cena's greatest rivals ever. Anyone missing off the list, anyone you would put in there, anyone that makes the top 10 more so than what's there?
I would have Randy Orton number 1.
No, forget about the ranking. Right, those 10 are in there. Is there anyone missing that should be in those 10? And who would you take out?
Carlito.
Nikki Bella.
Missing. Anyone missing?
Would you put Triple H in there?
You would. I think you would.
I mean, he's on the picture.
Yeah. Well, I'd probably have Well, I do the graphic. Don't worry about that. I'd probably have Triple H in there. Not to sound bad or anything, but for me, Triple H has had a bigger influence on this man's career certainly than Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
I would think, and that's no disrespect to Bray Wyatt either. You know what I mean? So, but I think Triple H has to be in there as a shout. Yeah, like if Shawn Michaels is in there, Triple H has to be in there.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? You can't. Yeah.
I mean, you have to really go back, don't you? When you look at these rivalries, I'm trying to think now.
Yeah.
Outside of these 10 guys, we've mentioned like Triple H and things like that. I'm really I'm struggling to think. Well, there's one person that's not in there. Hold on.
Brock. Oh no, see, no, sorry.
Yeah,
you could probably
make, aren't you?
You could make an argument probably for JBL, could you?
Well, JB, you talked about that guy being important to put somebody over, to really put them on the map, and JBL did that.
Yeah,
so maybe you could make a case for that. You know what I mean? But I think everything else seems fairly solid. And when you look at this graphic, don't you? This graphic really pours hot water on that farewell tour, doesn't it? When you think about it.
Imagine having all those guys against Cena on the farewell tour. They're blockbuster sellouts every single month.
Absolutely.
They're like, you could put this in you know, if you put Cena against Jericho or Batista or Randy Orton or Edge, and you put it on like Survivor Series, for example, you could have that in the biggest stadium in the country and it would still sell out.
Shawn Michaels versus John Cena next week at Saturday night's main event. His worst outing would absolutely crap all over what we've had to endure over the last
year. Yeah.
Shawn Michaels now, who was hobbling around on his issues, could go out there with an adrenaline shot or whatever it is and put on an absolute clinic of psychology and stuff like that and sell him for John Cena for that last match. That would absolutely tear down that whole farewell tour.
No, I'm just thinking of one there. Sorry for putting top 10.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. I'm probably shouldn't be in the top 10, but I'm just thinking back in the early 2000s. He had a good few matches with Taker. Would you put Taker in there?
You would.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like,
go ahead and put Big Show in there then. First title win was against Big Show. Put Big Show in there.
Well, he faced Taker at Vengeance 2003, and that was a good match. Do you know?
Not really memorable as a rivalry for me, to be honest. Yeah. It doesn't stick out to me as a rivalry above what's in there already.
I'd probably have JBL in there before I'd have Undertaker, but that's just me.
I agree with Dave. Everybody on that list, you can actually still picture some of the matches. All of the matches, in fact.
I would take Bray out and put Triple H in.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's the only one that doesn't sit right with me because I actually felt Bray was shafted a bit with that rivalry, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I don't think that was.
What about their cinematic match? The cinematic match, kind of like.
Oh, that was god awful.
No.
I thought it was so cool.
No. That's why. No, cool in what way?
Fair enough.
The same as the match with Randy Orton as well. That had all the slugs and the worms and all on the ring mat. No.
Different gravy. We got to see John. We got a retrospective view of John Cena's career from his debut. We got to see him in his old trunks in the NWO. Look, it's more of an entertainment thing, I guess. So I take your point on that, but I think that's why he's probably there, because that match, there was something special about it. Well, I guess that's not the debate.
The only time they did that right was AJ and Taker.
Yeah, the Boneyard. Yeah.
Only time I've seen them do that right. But I applaud them for taking the shot on it. I'm not going to crap all over it. I actually have a lot of respect for the fact that they went and tried to do something new like that.
And also, we should mention that Gallows and Anderson were awesome.
I still love them. I don't care. I think they were badly booked in WWE.
But in that match, they were awesome.
Yeah,
let's be honest there. They were a big part of it. But yeah, absolutely. Like when they do it, they can do it right. Sometimes, like the Boneyard match didn't come across as hokey, because the Boneyard match kind of looked like you could made up with this guy on a bike and have an old knock with a biker gang in a yard like that, and it felt very real as well, even though it was cinematic.
Who would you have as number one? I know CM Punk is number. Would you agree with that? Because for me, it's Randy Orton as his number one rival.
I don't know. Do you remember the stakes? Do you remember the stakes between Cena and it wasn't just win loss? It was like literally the company.
The Rock was huge as well, wasn't it?
The Rock was massive, yeah. And look, Edge. There's an argument for Edge to be number one too.
Yeah, 100%. That was a great rivalry.
There's an argument for everyone on that list. I mean, he's had some unbelievable matches with Triple H as well, and also. I mean, and the funny thing about it is when you go down through this list, they've all had moment matches.
Yeah.
Like when you think of Punk with the pipe bomb and Cena lying in the ring carved up with the table and all, and you know what I mean, they've all had these moments that they share together, and that's why this farewell tour and this fucking tournament is driving me insane.
It's horrible to be over.
It's not worthy of the man at the top of it. That's all I'll say.
I wonder what happens after the Gunther match if he does the thing, goes roll it back, and we start and have another year. Maybe do that or something, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like it just they have
he loves it. He can't go out like this.
Yeah, he can't go out like this.
Are we ignoring the fact that are we gonna ignore the fact that he's advertised for the Raw after WrestleMania? I know
I reckon that's hawkery, I'd say. If you had told me it was the Raw after WrestleMania in Saudi, I'd say yeah. 100%. But he ain't gonna be at the Raw after. Right? Well, that's not true actually, because see, they would have needed to kidnap him. They would have needed to kidnap him at Survivor Series one day and have 2 dates, because you have Mania and you have Raw. So he's only 1 day left. So they would have needed to kidnap him last week before Survivor Series to have 2 dates left.
Before I make the next comment, are we going to talk about the tournament? Because I know we're running out of time. Are we going to talk about the tournament?
Who do you think is going to win it? Do you think it's going to go Gunther, or do you think it's going to go LA Knight?
Gunther.
You really going to LA Knight again, though?
It's not about Shaft and LA Knight. Dave, it's not about Shaft and LA Knight. It's about the fact that we were, if it is Gunther and it ends like that, we were literally told how it was going to happen and the result back in September. That's bullshit. And that shouldn't happen. And I'll be pissed if that happens. That cannot happen. Triple H will get a strongly worded rant from me on this podcast, which he watches. All I'm going to say is, is there anything to be said for some hokery going on that night? I stole your word there, Niall, sorry. Where The Rock does something. The Rock does something. He comes out and something happens there. I don't know. It doesn't even have to be The Rock.
I don't think so.
But maybe Gunther gets a hiding before it, putting him into another feud. And maybe it's somebody who is, I don't know.
I just think we're going to have a normal match with him. I think it's just going to be a normal match.
Well, look, we're going to find out in 10 days. That's the fact.
Right. Here's an interesting one. These all kind of lead in because I wanted to focus a lot on Cena over the next 2 weeks because as someone who has the shop and all, I feel like I owe it to the guy as well. You know what I mean? To fight his corner.
He's made you so much money.
I want to fight his corner. I want to try and get him kidnapped. The whole lot, like, you know what I mean? Imagine I kidnapped him. I had him here in the room next week while we were doing the watch along. He was just sitting there in the bed and we were cracking.
I'll be honest with you, Noel. As impressed as I'd be, I'd also be a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
I mean, so there's a kidnapping.
Right. Yeah. Quick one for each is who inducts him? Who are you picking now with the list? Who inducts him?
Brent's saying it's that.
Well, I said last week it could be his dad, but I think his dad's a bit of a lunatic. That list are above that list as well. Can we?
Do you know what's
you
funny?
You can pick whoever you want. I just put those six on because I thought
I'm
those
gonna
six
say
would be relevant.
Stephanie McMahon should induct John Cena.
Well,
That's a hot take.
Why?
It's a great argument.
Without Stephanie McMahon being on that bus at that time, at that moment, to hear John Cena in that rap battle at the back of the bus, there would be no John Cena. She put
In that
on
case,
television.
Dave. In that case, is there an argument to be made for Rikishi? Because it was a Rikishi who set up the rap battle.
No, she put him on TV.
Silly.
So what are we saying here? If they hadn't recognised the rap battle, we would have got like Boston's version of Grayson Waller or something.
He was on the chopping board. He would have been let go.
He would have been he was so close to being let go until Steph seen that.
He was told he was going to be let go. He was told he was.
And like I just think for someone to have that much of an impact in his career and starting his career basically, I wouldn't mind.
Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle helped a lot with that as well.
No, he did. It was first matches against Kurt Angle. Don't get me wrong, but I think Stephanie was the reason that he got the Thuganomics. That he's at he went straight to the top of the pile. I think
I'm gonna say The Rock. I'm gonna say The Rock, and I'll tell you why I'm gonna say The Rock. They've had the biggest match, the biggest draw in history. They've had the rivalry. They did the whole heel turn as well. I mean, look, ideally speaking, it would be. I think Dave, I think your hot take is spot on. I wouldn't care if it was Stephanie. Fair enough, but I'm gonna go with The Rock. It would be cool. It would be nice. Movie star to movie star, wrestler to wrestler, rivalry to rivalry.
Saudi to Saudi.
Sean O'Rourke, you've been very quiet. Go on. What do you think?
I agree with Bren. I think The Rock is the perfect choice from their Mania matches to just helping John Cena in his career. I think their feud is easily top 3 for me, and there's no better person, in my opinion, to be the one to induct John Cena. CM Punk is dead to me, as far as I'm concerned. That man is the definition of.
He came out and showed up when his dog passed away. So like we have to have big respect there. It's interesting when you go to the Hall of Fame slide and you see some of the guys like Keith spoke about The Undertaker, I spoke about JBL and stuff like that. It's interesting. I probably think, do you know what? I'm going to sit on the fence a bit on this. I probably think if this guy is the GOAT, probably should be a feud and induct him.
Yeah.
Maybe they should go off and maybe have like a little panel or something, or it's different where they all come out and they share their stories with them, road stories or something. Acer's the same. Vince McMahon, I think in an ideal world with all things being equal, I think maybe that might be the case. He certainly made that man billions and billions over the years. There's no doubt about that. But I think
stuck by him as well.
Yeah, I think in the current climate it would be a little bit different.
And also considering the fact that they're trying that there's talk of them getting rid of any Vince McMahon creation.
Yeah.
Which leads me to believe WrestleMania might be on the chopping block, but I doubt
can't do that.
Big deal.
Well, no, they can't do that.
They're gonna go.
They love WrestlePalooza.
They
bloody love WrestlePalooza.
Full Bis Cremwa on them.
We don't need to talk about this anymore, sure we don't. We've made our voice. Unless anyone wants to add to it. This is where I got this future face thing, and this is where I was thinking of Braun Breaker as a mega face when they turn on him.
Yeah.
Absolutely cool.
Yeah.
I think we're having. You're gonna have to have two because obviously you got the two titles. You're gonna have to have two big faces. I think Jacob Fatu down the line, it will be a good choice to put a title on him. I don't think he'll be the face. I could be wrong. I don't think he'll be the face of one of the brands. I think he will get multiple title opportunities. He'll probably get multiple title runs. But Braun Breaker, who else is there? Gunther would be ideal to be the face of Raw. Like Keith said, Breaker on SmackDown. Even if it's the other way around, I wouldn't mind. But having them two, face and heel, at the top of the mountain for both shows, that's longevity right there. That is like, that'll work for me anyway.
Be interesting. Right, I wanted to ask you this. So I thought this would be kind of fun to do. Obviously, we had Black Hoodie Guy jump the cage the other night. Curb stomps. CM Punk, Braun Breaker picks up the win off it and stuff like that. A lot of talk of Austin Theory, a lot of talk of Randy Orton, a lot of talk of different guys. There was even talk of Jinder Mahal, believe it or not, and stuff like that. So the question is, one, who do you think it is? And two, who would you pick? Who would you like it to be? And I preface that by saying it doesn't have to be a current WWE star?
Well,
I'm just pissed off we don't fucking know who it is yet. Why don't we know? Like, why?
I can tell you who was.
You're not going to know till January the 5th.
And I can tell you who was in the mask. The person in the mask was 100% Austin Theory, but that doesn't mean it'll be Austin Theory
on January the 5th.
On January the 5th, it could be anybody. They might do, because Higher Power is meant to be Stephanie McMahon, and they changed it to Vince. So you just don't know these things.
That's all.
And actually,
do you know? I think. Go on, say, Brent.
I think I was going to say Daniel Jones. If we can pick anybody, I'm going MGF. I'll get his name right first. MJF is who I'm going with.
It's too tall to be him.
Well, we're not.
No, that's who you might want him to be. It doesn't have to be this guy. That's who you might want it to be.
It was definitely Austin Theory in the because Randy Orton isn't climbing that. He's not climbing that cage like Spider-Man. Whoever climbed that cage when they got out, what's
Austin Theory doing in around these guys? How does that even?
He's been touted as part of the Division for a while now.
It goes back to a conversation that him and Paul Heyman had backstage. And he said, I've been looking for you for a while. I want to be your guy. I want you to be my guy. It goes back to that conversation. Everything that Paul Heyman
I would like to see it would be Montez Ford. I think he'd be decent.
That's another person who's rumored to be.
Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is who I think it is.
What?
Sami Zayn is who I think that is.
That's the hot take.
Oh, no,
Stephanie inducting.
Sami Zayn, no.
You wanted a change?
Worst take.
There's your change.
Yeah, but you would have seen the ginger coming out of him somewhere anyway.
Again, you don't have to. You don't have to because.
And in fairness, that's probably the most dressed up he's been in about 5 years.
I'm gonna go with who I think it is, Sami Zayn. Who would I like it to be?
Let's see where he nails his flag here now. Don't forget to check out Dave's AEW show coming up this week. Just saying.
No one from AEW anyway, that's for sure.
No, but who would you like it to be? It doesn't have to be. It could be anybody. It could be freaking Edge.
Shaq.
But it's not gonna.
It's again. We talk about people not climbing the cage like Spider-Man. There's another one who can't. He's afraid to jump off at this point. Who would I like it to be?
He was very nimble on the cage, wasn't he?
Jacob Fatu.
No, Jacob's been more stock here, isn't he?
Too lean.
No. This is who you would like it to be.
It doesn't.
They're getting confused in it. Forget about that image. That image is just an image. It's who you would like it. Doesn't matter if you want Yokozuna.
WWE doesn't care about logic.
Yeah,
Jacob Fatu is what you're saying.
So mine is who do I think it is? Sami Zayn. Who would I like it to be? Jacob Fatu. I think I think he'd fucking blow that storyline out of war.
Who wants to go next? Because I have the perfect one for Sean O'Rourke.
Nikki Bella.
Just to solidify his CM Punk. I want the perfect one.
I want Sean to go next if that's the case. Sorry, Keith. Because I want to know what you think.
If I'm being honest now, I don't want to go next.
You have to.
No, Acers. It may be Jericho on January the 5th, but that was not Jericho running up that cage the other night. I can guarantee you that. 100%. 100%. We can have a bet on that any amount you want. That's not Jericho. No way. I know he's back in shape and all. Doesn't look anything like it. Maybe January the 5th, maybe. It could be Edge. Right. Who knows? By January the 5th. Ooh. I wonder by January the 5th, will the silhouette look like this? Or will he be taller and beefier? And, you know what I mean?
Do you know who it would be? El Grande Americano at this point.
Batista with his pearly beads. Yeah. Let's go, baby.
Sean, who are you thinking? Because I want to know what Noel thinks in a second.
I'm the same for both. I think it's Austin Theory, and I would like it to be Austin Theory. And that's because, as you said, it fits in perfectly with what happened with Paul Heyman a few months back. And I think it's absolutely perfect for the fact that Austin Theory has basically disappeared without a trace. Everyone's wondering where the hell he is. Don't have a clue what has happened, when he's coming back. Is he injured?
He was injured.
Well, nobody has a clue
I think that's
when
irrelevant,
he's coming back. So I think it would be perfect just to show up. This is what happened. I think it's going to be him. I would like it to be him.
Sean, I am so disappointed. I am so disappointed in you.
Come on,
I'll see myself out.
What were you going to say?
No, go ahead. No, come back. We'll toss in a minute. Bran, you want to give me yours, do you?
No, we'll go Keith. I already get mine. Go, Keith.
Keith, you give us yours.
I think it's going to be Austin Theory. Do you know, I think it's going to be R-Truth for the laugh.
Is that who you want it to be, though? Because we're talking about who you want it to be as well.
No, I wouldn't be against being Montez Ford because they are looking to do something.
It's a good show.
But would they do that without breaking up Street Profits first?
But they're looking to break up Street Profits at some stage, aren't they?
Might be the
they
way
tried
to break
do
them
it
up.
last year, and Montez Ford said no.
It might be the way to break them up. But
and in fairness, since he said no, Dawkins has been putting in a shift.
Because he knows it's not going to last.
No, but he's been good. He's been good, in fairness.
Sean, remember Otis is his tag partner?
Sean, I picked it. Yeah, absolutely. Sean, I picked out this guy for you. And it
would and
it would solidify your hate for CM Punk. It would also have a little bit of history. And there's only one man that should be under that hoodie. If you had your way in booking and stuff like that, and Sean, I know you would have booked this. And I say Dave will come around to this as well. There's only one. Jack Perry.
Oh,
Jack Perry. Can you imagine if Jack Perry hit that curb stomp and pulled that hood down and that mask off? And CM Punk would absolutely destroy his trunks.
Oh my God.
He'll be crying on a river.
I would be so happy. I'm not even gonna lie. It would be such a slap in the face. The slap in the face I've been absolutely waiting for, and that CM Punk has been absolutely begging for.
Don, we need to talk about your CM Punk hate.
And the thing, Sean, you want this in theory.
I changed my mind.
Do you know what?
It's too late. It's too late.
That's a good shout from Acer. Zillafat too. It's not
like
they need another Samoan in the federation, but who knows?
You'd be delighted with that, Dave.
Probably a bigger size hoodie. And I can't imagine Zillafat too running up a cage the way this guy did either. Just saying.
I don't know. He's a felon.
Yeah.
I take back what I said. I retract my statement.
Too late, Sean. You can't do that.
Santa, can I please have Jack Perry for Christmas? Thank you very much.
Roll it back.
What if it was Tony Khan?
What?
I suppose the amount of cocaine he takes, he would get up that cage in no time at all.
No, you can't say that, Dave. That's alleged. That's alleged. You can't say he does.
It's alleged. Have you seen him clapping the post show?
No, that's alleged. It's alleged.
Sorry. Alleged.
We can't be saying. We don't want Tony watches this podcast. We don't want to be pissing him off.
Imagine that old McMahon line. It was me, Austin. It was me all along. It was me, Tony. Imagine. Right. Just to let you know, delivery arrived today, December. This is what's in it. If anyone wants that, and hit me up. They'll be in store on Friday. Even a little bit of AEW in there for you, Dave. Even a little bit of AEW in there.
Just before you get rid of that slide. Just before you get rid of that slide, look at that Grand Slam John Cena t-shirt bottom right, and look at that Wyatt 6 t-shirt and the CM Punk. They are unbelievable, and that Boston t-shirt, incredible. Niall, I'll be with you on Friday. Unbelievable. Just unreal.
Isn't it funny the way they've done the Boston t-shirt like a Yankees t-shirt just to piss Cena off?
It looks amazing though, I have to say.
I don't watch baseball.
That's not a Red Sox t-shirt, that's a Yankees t-shirt.
Right. Let's take a little bit of history so we can get out of here. Right. 1998. This fits in with the narrative at the moment, doesn't it? WWE pushed the envelope in one of the most infamous incidents of the arena at the conclusion of the episode of Monday Night Raw after Stone Cold. Of course, we got the crucifixion that they denied was a crucifixion. But there you go. So that was this week in 1998. The Undertaker and The Rock. Taker raised Austin up on a joint version of his cross symbol, arm spread eagle, for what looked, for all intents and purposes, like a crucifixion. But WWE denied it, that it wasn't. 1997, we were talking about old school. Shirley Big Daddy Crabtree died, of course, of a stroke at the age of 67 in a hospital in Halifax, West Yorkshire, UK. Arguably the biggest name on the British wrestling scene during that era. And of course, his rivalry with Joint Haystacks was absolutely legendary. Watched plenty of it, I did. 2006, the James Brown Arena. Wasn't it so great when they named arenas like the James Brown Arena and all? Really cool. In Augusta, Georgia. Played host to what is thought by many to be the worst WWE pay-per-view of all time. After what happened on Saturday, I'm not so sure. ECW December to Dismember. The show had only 2 matches advertised in advance and suffered the lowest pre-network buy rate of any WWE pay-per-view in history. 90,000 buys. And of course, it led to the infamous, breakdown between Paul Heyman and Steph and Vince and everything else. So there we go. 2001, this seems apt as well. Vince McMahon's Kiss My Ass Club is unofficially closed when McMahon is forced by The Rock to kiss Rikishi's ass on SmackDown. There we go. 2006, less than a day removed from the terrible December Dismember. We spoke about it. Paul Heyman and all the rest of it happened. 2009, Umaga Eddie Fatu died from heart failure mere months after his WWE release at the age of 36. What a loss. What a character and what a competitor. What a wrestler. 2009, WWE taped tribute to the troops in Baghdad, Iraq. In the main event, John Cena defeated Chris Jericho to retain the WWE Championship. Imagine that. We can get John Cena versus Chris Jericho, a tribute to the troops in Baghdad, and we can't get him on a farewell tour. It's insane. It's just insane, isn't it? 2013, the Hart family mansion in Calgary, Alberta, Canada is named a heritage site, official landmark by Calgary Mayor Naheem Nensi. Absolute great decision, because at one stage it was being sold or something like that, I thought, and it was going to be demolished, I think. 2018, WWE taped their annual tribute to the troops special at Fort Hood in Texas. The main event saw AJ Styles and Seth Rollins defeat Daniel Bryan and Dean Ambrose. 2018, a man who was very close to the podcast from myself and Ian as well. We've had his daughter on the old podcast and all. The Dynamite Kid, Tom Billington, passed away on his birthday at the age of 60 in his hometown of Wigan. Very, very sad, the Dynamite Kid. A few birthdays for you. Interesting ones, of course. Obviously, the Dynamite Kid, Tom Billington, 1958, passed away on his birthday. Jack Hager, 1982. Super Crazy rolls in on the Moan Machine, 1973. Celebrates his birthday this week. Nick Bockwinkel, 1934. And Larry Sabisco, 1953.
Yeah, what a legend.
One of the greatest heels the business has ever seen. And we rounded out 1946, one wrestler and referee. You'll remember from Beyond the Mat, and also refereed Terry Funk's last match versus Bret Hart, Dennis Stamp, 1946. Yep. That rounds out your notable birthdays for this week. Cracking show, folks. Let's round out with some. Daniel. Niall, hold on a large derby for me. No problem at all. I'll put it with the Carrying Cross one. You know.
With the Hardy Boys one from
when you know Daniel, you know. Do you have AJ Lee's one by any chance? My favourite wrestler. I have lots of AJ Lee in the shop. Wink, wink, Anto. Christmas coming. There you go. AEW Winter is coming 2020 full show on yesterday. Yeah, absolutely. And we have Sunderland nearly scored. That's the last thing we need to hear, isn't it? Anyway, folks, great show. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification button. Drop a like on the video. This has been the panel. It has been Pro Wrestling Weekly. Our dissection down of Survivor Series War Games and Raw. We roll on to SmackDown with Bren on Saturday night. He'll be doing his review of SmackDown. Join us next week. Saturday night's main event. Watch along. This is going to be rough. Strap yourselves in. Until next time, folks. Really appreciate you. Keep on liking, sharing, and subscribing. Checking out all the shows. And we'll talk to you again.